How's it going, folks? Welcome to the channel. My name's Kyle. Want to give you guys an update on the King electric heater. And, having used one of these for over 3 years now, I thought I'd give you guys my opinion and update on whether or not I still will go electric, and again, maybe why you would or wouldn't choose electric to heat your shop, garage, shed, greenhouse, basement, whatever. So let's dig into it. So like I mentioned, it's been 3 years, well, a little bit more than that, since I installed an electric heater in my garage. Now granted, this newer one here, the Eco 2S Plus model, was sent to me a couple of years ago when I installed it. I'll put a video above here for that install video. But I've been using exclusively electric heat in my shop now, well, since I started heating it. As far as performance last winter this ran 200 hours, okay? I know that because I have an ecobee set up on the wall over here, and I can look online to see exactly how much it runs in high and low mode. The eco models are intelligent, and they know how to kind of regulate the power bands and try to use the high and low settings in the most efficient way possible to, use electricity. So this one here will start off in low, and then it'll realize after so long, oh, it's taking a little longer to heat up, will pop up to high. And it will go up and down depending upon what it's trying to do and achieve inside the shop. Like I said, 200 hours is what this ran all last winter. At worst case, running in high, in my area, this will burn about 75 cents of electricity per hour that it runs. So 200 hours times 75 cents, that's like what? 150 bucks. So from last October, which is I call heating season, through March, I burned $150 worth of electricity. So again, think through that in your head. 150 bucks in electricity to keep my shop at 45 or greater, depending upon when I'm out here, all winter long here in Iowa. We had temperatures as low as negative 30. Again, insulation, size of heater, your actual utility rates are going to make a difference. But this got me through an entire winter for 150 bucks. It's going to be pretty hard to beat. Now, with natural gas, you might be able to do a little bit cheaper. And if you have a high efficiency gas unit, yeah, you might be able to save some money. But like I said, in my area, LP, depending upon when you buy it, is about $1.40 a gallon. And if I burn a gallon of LP a day, you're talking 40 bucks a month, plus tank rental. So depending upon whether or not you pay 40 bucks a year, 50 bucks a year for your tank, or you buy it outright, it's about a wash. So far, my experience with electric has been great. It's been relatively cost effective to keep my shop heated. 45 degrees is generally what I set it at, just because I don't want nothing to freeze out here. It's also as low as the thermostat goes. It's efficient. So far, it's never let me down. It's been running. And when it gets cold out, it runs quite a bit. When it gets really cold, it runs, 5-6 hours a day. So during those times, it's using more power. It's never broke down. I don't have to worry about any obnoxious fumes from something happening, running out of gas, having the tank rental like we talked about, or, anything of that nature. Now, if I lose electricity, do I have a problem? Yes. But like most everything else in a house, you're going to have some type of electricity to run it, whether it be a forced induction heater or a mini split or something like this. The only way you're going to get away from that is if you have a wood stove where you don't have to have a blower motor. But I do have some backup means in case something were to happen, just take the stuff that's going to freeze in the house temporarily. I can't specifically speak for any other heater as far as their reliability, but using electricity as a means of primary source of heat in my shop has been very successful, and I haven't had any problems. You're wondering, would you buy electric again, Kyle? Would you continue to do that in your next shop? Definitely. If I'm in a situation like I am now, where I have liquid propane, LP, as my primary gas or heat source, I would use electric. For one, I have solar panels, so technically it's free once those are paid off. I put free in air quotes because the solar panels weren't free to begin with. But then, it's a net zero cycle. I'm using the power I'm generating to heat the garage. If I had natural gas nearby, I may consider something different. But again, I probably would also have a bigger shop. I do know a lot of folks around here like to use mini split units. The only problem with those is when it gets so cold, like it does sometimes here in Iowa, you have to have a backup source of heat. And well, then if it just won't keep up, then, well, you're SOL. Mini splits work fine. They're getting the technology better, but so far they're only able to pull heat out of air so low of temperature to heat your house or space with. Now let's look at why you might choose electric for your shop. The first thing is first. Our house, we have LP, liquid propane, and not natural gas. So by default, that is much more expensive to do. And on top of that, to do LP, you must have some type of vent, whether it be through the wall or out the roof. And I didn't want to have to do those modifications to the building. What's nice about an electric heater install is all you need is, some power. It came from the breaker panel over there, a heater, a place to mount it. So it was super easy to go this route because I didn't have to do any other infrastructure work. Run a copper clear over here, plug it in the unit, put a breaker in the box, clip it on, and you're done. No holes in the wall. Another nice thing with electric is, like I mentioned, the LP. I didn't have to run a line clear over here from my 500-gallon LP tank that's about 150 feet that way, and I didn't have to buy a tank to put outside. Now, you could pay rent on one of those, but you start adding up the dollars and cents and pennies, it just doesn't make sense to do that. Another reason is cost. Electric heat can vary in range depending upon the heaters you buy. This King Electric one is probably more of a premium heater. Costs a little bit more, but again, it's assembled in the U.S. with global components like a lot of things are. And you can buy cheaper ones made in China, whatever you want to do. This is a 7,500 watt model, so my garage is like 530 square feet total with 9-foot ceilings. And you hear, well, it just cycled off and it's currently 50 degrees out here. Another reason you might choose electric is if you don't have gas at your property at all. Now, not everybody has liquid propane or natural gas at their house, so by default, you may have to use electric. And there you go. That makes it quite simple for you. Now, people who may not want electric are folks that have natural gas nearby or want instantaneous heat. This guy here is about 26,000 BTU. So it'll heat the shop up, no problem, and it will maintain the shop temp, no problem. It was negative 30 out last year, and I had this set at 50, and it maintained it. Now, granted, it ran a little more, but that's going to be with any other heater. But it was able to maintain the temperature in here, no problem. As long as you size your heater correctly, it's going to do what it's supposed to, and provided you have insulation that's recommended for your area. One other reason that electric may not be good for you is if you're expecting drastic and fast changes of temperatures in your garage. This unit is only 26,000 BTU, so it's not significantly sized, right? It's going to change the temperature of the room and it's going to maintain it. But if you're expecting to get a 15-degree temperature change in 5 minutes, it's not going to do it. That's just not what it's designed to do. Obviously, if you oversize and put a 60,000 BTU gas furnace in here or a bigger wood stove, obviously you're going to get faster changes. But you also could do the same thing and oversize the electric heater. They have a 10,000 watt model. They got a 15,000 watt. They got all sorts of different sizes. But again, oversizing, you get short cycling. It's less efficient, blah, blah, blah. But, again, expectations. It does put nice hot air out. This specific heater has a pretty good temperature rise of the heat that's coming out of it. And it throws the air about 25 feet. So you're going to feel it across the shop here. Again, it's not going to blow the hair off the top of my head. I mean, that's not what happened to it. It just fell out. But it's going to do enough to make you feel warm and warm the area up. I mean, again, just give it some time. That's what I'm trying to say. So to close it out, you heard this running when I was talking at the beginning of the video here. It's worked well for me this entire time. Hasn't let me down. It's been very efficient and I would say eco-friendly on my monthly budget. So $30 a month electricity to keep this heated, more or less. I mean, you can add or subtract depending upon which month you look at. And, I don't have to worry about taking stuff inside the house, and it's easier on the diesel tractor that sits in here. Everything in general is better if it's kept from freezing. My batteries, I got a whole wall of DeWalt batteries over here. It's easier on those if they don't freeze or get cold. I would have to take those in the house. So for me, $30 a month's worth it to keep the garage above freezing. I can bring stuff in out of the weather and go from there. Now, electric heat is not going to be for everybody. And someone said, just buy a wood stove and cut wood. I'm not going to go out and cut wood all winter long just to stoke it to keep my garage heated. Set the thermostat, and come back in here and it stays the same temp. Now, if you have unlimited wood source and you're always at home and able to stoke that fire, yeah, maybe it's worth it. Or if you're using a whole boiler system that you're heating your house with, you may consider having that as part of your shop as well. But for me, it doesn't make sense. In my situation, I'd much rather set the thermostat, not worry about it, come out here when I need to. Maybe having supplemental wood heat wouldn't be a bad idea, but then you have insurance problems. People like to complain about that. I got to cut wood, and the free time I don't have already. So again, in my experience, I've had great luck, especially with the King Electric brand of heaters. I would highly recommend them. I'll put some links down below to some affiliate links on Amazon. If you guys choose to go that route, I do get a little commission. Just keep that in mind. It's of no expense to you guys. Places like Menards carry these. I'll put links down to those as well. This is a 7,500 watt version. It does a great job of keeping this garage warm, about 530-ish square feet, 9-foot ceiling, so it's a little bit larger than a generic 8-foot wall garage. And it's worked well for me. And just to wrap a bow on it, the King Electric 2S Plus and the King Electric line of heaters have been very reliable for me. Would highly recommend it. Check out the links below. 3 years, no issues, and let's keep it that way. They do have a great warranty on their stuff, so I would highly encourage you to check it out. Don't be afraid to support a US-based company where they manufacture a lot of their own products. Again, like everything else in this world, not everything is 100% made at King Electric because we live in a world of globally sourced components, but just, consider it. They are a little bit more expensive than the competition, but my experience, they've been very reliable. And the extra bit you pay, you kind of see on the back end with the added features. Like I said, though, the remote thermostat on the wall over here, the fact that I'm using less electricity because it is more efficient in using it and how it uses it by using the different power bands to heat the room and not overheat. So far, for the 3 years I've owned it, I've had nothing but good things to say. And I would encourage you guys to let me know down below if you've had a different situation. It's always good to hear other people's perspectives on what's happened or what they've experienced. If you guys have any questions about electric heat in general, my experiences with it, or my experiences with this King Electric heater, put some stuff down in the comments below, and I'll do my best to answer them. I'll reach out to King Electric if I don't know the answer and get an answer for you. Let me know if you guys think the video is informative and helpful. Give me a thumbs up. If not, give me a thumbs down, but give me some feedback on how I can make this stuff better. I would greatly appreciate that. If you're not a part of the YouTube family, I would greatly appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button and follow along so you can learn more stuff like this. Thanks for stopping in. My name's Kyle. Take care of one another. If you're watching this, it's probably getting cold out, so stay warm. I'll catch you guys in the next video. We'll see ya.